What up, y'all? This that dirty toothpaste. Today, we're gonna be talking about feminism. I've been seeing a lot of stuff recently. It's getting under my skin. Situation happened with young
Tell me
Scooter.
exactly what happened.
Okay, so I'm the neighborhood watch,
Uh
and
huh.
basically, like I said, these guys they're like selling drugs in and out of the house. All you see is guys coming in and out of the house with guns and stuff. They holding guns in the air, and then it's like I'm not sure if they're pimping, but it's the situation that's going on right now. This girl doesn't have on any clothes. They threw her outside. He was fighting the girl. He literally fought the girl. I'm not sure what they was fighting over. If they was fighting over drugs, that's what it sounded like. It sounded like they were fighting over drugs. Um, and then they started shooting. She had someone come over there, and they started shooting. But the house needs to be investigated. They're definitely doing they're doing illegal stuff over there, and it's
How
disturbing the
many shots were
area.
fired?
I would say three. It was three shots.
When did it happen?
It's happening now.
Okay.
So I believe the girl is hurt,
And
and
they're
that's why
coming from 273 William Now Drive.
that's not yes. And the girl is hurt because she was like bleeding profusely, like blood everywhere.
Okay. Do you see or hear
She was,
anything else?
yeah, she's trying to get away, and they're holding her. She's being held hostage, like she's trying to. They brought her. The guy that was fighting her, she ran outside naked, and then he was fighting her outside. And then there was
Okay.
another commotion. She tried to get away. He dragged her back in the house. So now they're at the door, literally fighting. She's trying to get out. And he's refusing to let her out. And it's like seven guys in the house.
Where you had a black woman call the cops on a brother. I would expect this stuff from a white woman, but a black woman did it. That's a different type of diabolical. You know why? Because she knows what we deal with as black men. And the fact that she called the police on that brother shows that she did not give a damn about him, his family, or the consequences of her actions, because she felt there would be none, because they don't care about us. And when I mean they don't care about us, I'm not talking about all black women. I'm talking about society in America. They don't care about black men. You have some black women that love us. I'm married to one. But you have a lot that do not like us. They have something against us. They are feminists. These women have ruined black society. They have ruined the black household. They have ruined our future. They have ruined our children. I want you to think about that. Look at the condition of our children. Who are the people that are supposed to raise these children? Who are the people that should be nurturing these children? How can you nurture a child if you're busy shaking your ass, twerking, going to the club, weaving and sandaling it up? We know what they do, and we're not talking about all of them. We're talking about certain women. But those certain women are starting to become a majority, it seems like. And that's the problem. Black women have become too masculine. You're too manly. You're too loud. You're too aggressive. You act the way you think a man should act. And men don't act like that. Boys act like that.
I said what I said.
Boys get extra aggressive. Boys act tough. when they're really scared. Boys get loud when they're wrong and they can't prove otherwise. The way you see a lot of these women act is the way they think a man should act. And it's because they've been around men that act like this, or males that act like this. So they think, oh, this is how a man should be. That's not exuding strength. When you run around doing shit just because you can, that does not exude strength. That's not what men do. Not real men. At this point, in Black society, men have to take the leadership role completely back. At this point, it's time for women to shut up. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Shut the fuck up. It's time to be quiet. Not on a disrespectful level, but you notice when brothers try to tell women certain stuff, what's the first thing they do when a nerve gets struck?
But I'm making a listen. Hold on.
I need you to explain to me
I did.
in
Here we
plain
go.
context without taking it to the moon. I need you to explain to me.
I didn't take it to the moon.
Is an ambitious woman a problem? You say yes.
So
Okay.
again, I'm not here to,
Okay, I want to understand. I want to understand.
I got you.
Is a woman?
I can't dumb
a
down.
black-
I
a
can't
black
dumb down what I'm
woman-
saying for nobody.
A black
Facts.
woman.
They start yapping. So it throws the conversation completely off. At certain points, when you see certain videos, excuse me, and you see groups of men speaking, it shouldn't be a woman there. We don't need your opinion. Like the show where you have with Joe Budden, and it's about 3 or 4 men sitting there. And then you have Melissa Ford. Why? Why do we need her? Why do we need to hear her? Women have invaded every single space that men occupy. At this point, we need our own space because we need to have conversations about leadership, and that is not their position. So they shouldn't be in that conversation. People are gonna say it's wrong what I'm saying, and it's not. Everybody does not deserve a voice. Everybody deserves an opinion, but everybody shouldn't have a voice, because a lot of people say some dumb shit. Saying that everyone should have a voice is like saying that everybody should be able to raise a child. Everybody's not equipped to raise an adult, a child into an adult that will be a contributing member to society. Most people know how to watch a person until they grow up. And then they let them go out there in the world unprepared. And then the next thing you know, the world has to deal with them. This is what a lot of single mothers do. They watch these kids. Women don't want to listen to the stats. They ignore the stat that a child has an 80% chance of going to prison raised with a single mother. So that means he has a 20% chance of success. He has now with a single, with a married couple, or just a couple, we won't even say married, but with a mother and a father, that goes to 20%. They have a 20% chance of going to prison. But you know what the kicker is? The kicker that they don't want to talk about is when a child is raised by a man, a single father, they still have a 20% chance of going to jail. Now, why is that? Why is that? They don't want to talk about that. Why? I'll tell you why real quick. Men create fucking order. That's why. We create order. Rules. If you notice, what do you see from a lot of single mom households? You see a lack of rules. You see a lack of order. When you raise a child like that, that's how you get boys that act like girls, that get emotional and want to beat somebody up because they're wrong about a subject, or they get embarrassed, or they can't have a fist fight with another boy and take the embarrassment of losing, so they go back to get a gun and kill that boy. These boys come from single mother households. Men teach boys these. You use these, whoever you're using them against, you'll see him tomorrow. Maybe I'll fight again, but you'll see him tomorrow. But if you get emotional and you get a gun and you kill him, there's no seeing him tomorrow. So guess what? A couple years from now, after everything's over and you're not mad anymore, guess where he'll be? In the ground. When you finally come to your senses and everything isn't so crazy, he'll still be in the ground. One time, I'm gonna share a story with you real quick. I had an attempted murder charge on a person. I had a little situation in my neighborhood, out of back and forth, stuff like that. People try to hurt me, I hurt them, they hurt me, back and forth stuff. But then I see one of these individuals over 20 years later, and we stood there and talked to each other and talked a little bit about the past, about what we went through, and then talked about our families, what we're doing right now. And that shit was cool. You know why? Had we accomplished what we wanted to and probably killing each other, that never would have happened. But we got the opportunity to be men and see each other later and say what's up. And that was some cool shit. What a lot of you young fellas don't understand is, after you're not 20 anymore and you're 31, 35, 40, you're gonna feel different. Your mind is gonna change. And those people that you was going through it with, you might end up becoming allies with. That's what happens. A lot of times the people that we beef with on the street, when we get to prison, we end up being this close with them. Can't go nowhere in prison. And sometimes, guess who ends up being the best of friends? These are the conversations that men need to be having. These are the conversations that women don't belong in anymore. They have shown that they don't know what to do with leadership. Black women took up the mantle of feminism in the 70s. I want every black person that watches this video, I want you to pay attention to the late 60s, early 70s. This is when black people changed. And if you were to get a chart of when they started doing Section 8 welfare stuff, you'll see the fall off of our households right along with that chart. And it came from women, black women, being given money from the government, and the stipulation was no black man can be in that house. This changed the attitude of women, because now black women are looking at politics, and feminists comes up. You have the Roe versus Wade situation that they love to talk about, all the feminists, especially a lot of black feminists. And that shit has nothing to do with black people, but they bring it up so quickly. Nothing to do with us. They are being used, and they don't even realize it. Some of them do when they get older, and they realize how they've allowed that shit to mess their head up so bad. They don't have a husband. They may or might not have kids, but if they do, guess who's a single mom? I was raised by a single mom and a feminist. I love my mom. God bless her soul. But my mom was definitely a feminist. And she was wrong about a lot of things. She was an amazing mother. But she couldn't do it on her own. You can't raise a man. The streets had to raise me. So once I got to a certain age, the streets had to break a lot of stuff out of me that I was raised in. Things like holding grudges. Men don't hold grudges. I used to hold grudges because my mom did. I saw my mom do it. So I thought that's what you do. If somebody does something, anything to you, you hold that grudge. Men don't do that. Men don't hold grudges unless blood is spilled. If blood isn't spilled, men can figure it out. We have fist fights with each other and shake hands and it's over. That's men. We are different. The same way white culture and black culture is different. The more our cultures intertwined, the more messed up our people became. There's certain things that we should not be doing, that we do, that we got from them. And if you look how we started merging with their culture, you'll see our line go down. Shit with the materialism, the feminism, the sexual deviancy. I can keep going. The surgeries. Our women's heads are completely messed up. And we have stayed quiet and allowed it for too long. That's our only fault in this. But the way we deal with this is by doing what I said. By gathering the men up and us figuring this out. But these women that are feminists, they will have to suffer. They will suffer because they think they know everything. They are going to have to die by themselves. God bless my mother's soul. My mom died by herself. And the only reason that she didn't want for nothing is because she had me. I made sure that all of these feminists, they're not going to have that same luck. The reason I made sure until my mother's last day that she was good. She didn't have a husband, but she had us. She had our family. And she knew we had her. And she knew we loved her. And she knew until she closed her eyes for the last time that I would make sure she had everything that she needed. Because that's what I did. I didn't allow my mother to want for nothing. Because she was that good of a mother to me. But that's not a son's responsibility. I love to do it because I love her. But what about the mothers, or forget mothers, what about the women that don't have that? What about when you're 60 years old? See, right now, you're 22, you young, you think shit is a game. You think your body gonna stay like that. And I don't mean the way it look, I'm talking about your health. What women don't realize is your bodies break down way faster than a man's does. So if you notice, women retire quick. Once y'all get about 35, 40, y'all be tired on a physical level. Most of you. So by the time, this is why you see a lot of women start complaining around that age. Where is the good man at? They got married around 22 while you were running around jumping from dick to dick. That's where they are. They're married. They're in relationships. They're with the women that deserve a husband. You won't have one. You will struggle. You will die by yourself because that's the future that you asked for. I remember having a conversation with a woman, and this is when I realized that a lot of times women don't care about the truth. They don't care about the logic. They care about how they feel. Because she said, I know you're right, but I just can't. It's the way. And I cut her right off. Once you said you know I'm right, there's nothing else to talk about. I don't want to have a conversation anymore. Because you know I'm right. So whatever is bothering you that is stopping you from going with what I'm saying right now, you need to figure that out. Or you need to get the hell away from me. Because I'm leading this. And if you don't like that, you gotta go. It's that simple. And this is what men gotta do. This is what men need to say to certain women. Either you're gonna listen to what I'm saying, or you got to go. It's the same way women want protection, right? Now imagine having a child, and a child says, I'm gonna do what I wanna do, but when I get into trouble, you better come save me, and you better come fast. How would that sound? Now, I'm in no way comparing women to a child, but a wise man did tell me this. Most women have the mentality of a 14-year-old. Test that out when you're talking to certain people and tell me how it works out for you. Now, back to what I was saying. I'm not comparing women to children, but you know, in certain situations, we have to protect you. Because you can't beat us. You talk like you can, but you can't. So, say I've told you, I know that you want to go to this party, and I've told you, nah, I don't want you going over there tonight. I do what I want. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm going out with my girls. Fuck what he said. Now, you take your ass over there, and I told you not to go over there because I know certain shit is going on over there. I know that the guys next door, they sell drugs. And I know that they got into something with some other guys that are way more powerful than them in the hood. And it might be some retaliation coming. So I don't want you going to that party that's over there. But you didn't listen. Now you go. Go to the party. Something happens. Argument happens at the party. One of the guys next door, they went to the party. You had a little sexy dress on that you shouldn't have been wearing, and he slapped your ass. And guess who you're gonna call? Guess who's not coming? No, I'm gonna let him slap your ass. I'm gonna let him slap it, touch it, squeeze it. You deal with that. Because you went to the party. You wanted to go be a big girl. So now protect yourself like a big girl. Get that man up off you. And after you do it, tell me how easy that was. See, this is what y'all women don't understand. This is why men don't talk to other men the way a lot of you women do. Y'all get up in men's faces, talk crazy, start waving. When do you see men do that to other men? We don't. You know why? Because we know he's dangerous on some level. On some level, if that man is any kind of man, he got some type of danger to him. That man can kill you. So we know to deal with him respectfully, or we're gonna have to get into a situation. Now, you've heard guys from the street say, a wolf know a wolf. And when you in wolf mode, them little fish and guppies, you don't even respect them. You don't worry about them. You walk through them. But when you see a wolf, you treat him accordingly. Why? Because he dangerous. He could do something to you. He do the same shit you do. So you treat him with respect. But a woman, I've seen women talk crazy to guys that I know are straight killers. Why does she do that? Should she be doing that? Would you just walk up and poke a lion? But she doesn't. And if that lion was to go off on her, who's wrong? He's wrong. Why? Because he's stronger and we know it. Y'all need to play your position and stay in your role. It's good being a woman. Y'all have so much power that you just let go. Like you literally just let it go. You got tricked out of your position, black women. Now, it's gonna be a couple of generations of you that will suffer because of this. Black men, it's time to take this leadership seriously. It's time to focus on these kids and make sure that the next generation does not deal with this shit. Make sure that these next kids coming up know how to deal with each other so that they can make families. Our children are at war in this country. We need them like this, together, tight. Black, we're not worried about nobody else because nobody else is worried about us. Believe that. We have been used too much. Black people have been used too much. Our women have been taken from us. Our fucking pride, everything has been taken from us. And it's time to take that shit back. These people have played with us for 500 years. It's time to get on some bullshit. These women don't want to get on the program. Let them suffer. Let them deal with the shit that they gonna deal with, because they gonna have to deal with a lot. And we know that as men. Once they get around 35, 40, watch them humble up. That woman that called the police on young Scooter, you see what she looked like. Did you see that face? See, I want you to notice something. When a woman puts on that makeup and puts on that fake ass hair, their attitude changes. Notice the videos when that shit gets ripped off. what happens? They get humbled immediately. The real her comes out. So when you go out and you see these chicks and they acting the way they act, acting like straight bitches, playing you, laughing at your shoes, just doing stupid, silly shit that these women do today. It's constant. Look at the pop balloon shows, just for an example of how these women act today. It's annoying. And it has to stop. And the only way it will stop is if we make them pay by completely ignoring their asses. The ones that deserve your attention, you give it to them. Women like attention. That's what they do all this for. That's why they run around with their ass cheeks hanging out. And it don't matter where the attention is coming from. You're right. Sometimes it don't matter if it's coming from a man or a woman. They are attention whores. Once you stop paying them attention and deprive them of that shit, watch the change. This is why we gotta make that weave shit. Any woman with a weave, make them take that shit off. Because it's not you. That's why you act the way you act. Your fucking pride goes up through the ceiling when you got on another bitch's hair. Your attitude gets crazy when you got on another bitch's hair. Look at the chick that did that shit to Young Scooter. Look at that jail photo. You see the humbleness in that jail photo? Now look at her on Instagram. It's a different person. The person in the jail photo probably wouldn't have called the police on him like that. But when she made that phone call, she had that weave on. She had that demon spirit up in her when she did that. And that shit got that man killed. She needs to pay for that. This should be the last black woman that does some shit like that to us. For real. You of all people got the nerve to call a system on me that you know don't like me. They don't fucking like you. But you brainwashed now. You think these people fuck with you. You just like certain immigrants that come over here. You just like them now. Put her ass in jail. Put her in the same system she called on him. That's what she deserves. She deserves prison time. And she deserves at least a dub, at least 20. Black men need to make sure that woman gets at least a dub. How many of them lie and say, this is your kid? And then it comes out years later. It's not. Do they get in trouble for that money they took? No. Are they forced to pay it back? No. That shit has to stop. Black men, we need to go to the court system and force these laws to change. Until black women get back on that program that they used to be on, no love. Don't give them no love. Don't give them no attention. And I'm not talking about all of them, because like I said, I'm married to a black woman. But the sad thing is, I don't see her type out there like that. I see him sometimes, but it's like few and far between. Very few and far between. But the fact that some of them are out there is good enough for me. Those are the ones we focus on. It's a shame it's not enough of them for all of us. So unfortunately, a lot of the brothers are gonna have to go outside the box. I personally couldn't do it. I don't like other women. The only other woman that I would deal with other than a black woman is a Latina. But if I have to marry somebody, my ultimate choice will be black. Why? Because she understands me. She knows where I come from. I know where she comes from. She understands my struggle. I understand hers. That's why I said I could deal with a Latin woman, because a lot of them have similar struggles, but it's not the same. So that's where the bullshit can start. Because a lot of Latinos, they identify with their oppressors. Black people don't. So if you get a Latino that's educated, an educated Latina, especially if she like Afro-Latina, could go for that, you know? But I'm married, I don't gotta worry about that shit. But for the brothers that can't find them a sister, that'll be the next best thing. Find you a nice Afro-Latina that know how to cook and shit, be alright, you know what I mean? Take your ass to Africa or something. But I can't do the white girls, man. And they age bad. Why would you want a white woman? They age like milk. They be 40 years old looking 60. My wife is 49 and she looks good. Still, not a wrinkle in her face. You know how we do. But it's that dirty toothpaste. Fellas, keep focus and keep paying attention to this young Scooter case. Make sure her ass go to jail. She got that brother killed for nothing. For nothing. Just like that white woman got that young black man killed. She lied on him and got him killed. But she was white, and that was years ago. Years ago. And now, in 2025, we had a black man run from the police and break his leg and die. Why do they think we would believe that shit? He broke his leg and died. Yeah? Now Scooter family is saying that he was shot. The only reason this shit has happened is because he called the police on that brother. Make sure her ass is under the jail. Make sure we fight to get these laws changed in our benefit. And if we don't, you do not marry these women, young men. My young brothers, you do not marry these women. They are using this shit to take your shit. So that by the time you're 35, you have nothing. And she has everything. And then she's gonna go get some different dude that's broke as hell, and she's gonna fuck him in your bed that you bought. Don't allow that to happen. These women don't look at marriage how my wife looks at marriage. These women look at marriage like a retirement plan. They think that a husband should only be around to pay bills. They think the only thing that we have to offer is money. And if we don't have that, fuck us. This is where that attitude of having a Cash App in your bio comes from. What kind of bum ass bitch has a Cash App in her bio? A bitch that can't afford to even get her crusty ass nails done. That's who. A bitch that can't afford to pay pay her rent has to ask you for money to pay it. And she's so poor that she needs to put her Cash App in her bio. Let that shit sink in. If you don't got no money for rent, you probably don't have money for soap. This that dirty toothpaste.